Welcome to the Predictive Playbook. I'm your host, John Ryan. I can be found at John Ryan Sports 1, but you probably already know that. My good friend and pal, I like to call him independent because he is independent. He's not associated with anybody. He's a professional bettor, which makes him even better. I'm using that word an awful lot. But his name's Ira Silver. And Ira Silver Magic is his Twitter tag where you can find him. And someday he's going to be selling his picks on the Predictive Playbook because the way his parlays are going, I'm sure you guys would easily spend $10 to help pay the bills around this joint of ours. So, Ira, welcome to the show.
Hey, John, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good. Got beat up over the weekend a little bit, but it's not the first weekend when you've been doing this for 26 years. But everything's it's a grind. It is an absolute grind. The tournament has been it's been fun to watch, but it's also been really like shocking at times. UCLA goes into overtime against Alabama. I thought Alabama was going to take control. And exercise their muscle.
I thought they were gonna cover that. Honestly.
Yeah, I mean, I did look at the in-game line, thinking that but I don't like doing as a matter of record here. You know this. I don't like doing in-game all that much in the second half. And now that I think about it, the only time I have recently was Oral Roberts with 1:20 to go and got 625 on the money line. And ever since I posted that tweet, I have been below 500. So I will never boast another winning ticket for the foreseeable future.
Yeah.
So
I actually had I had a fantastic start to the week. Ran really hot Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And then, I kind of had the same type of weekend you did. Friday, Saturday, Sunday did not go all that well, but it did salvage the weekend by having USC on the money line for a big, I had about 10 units on that one. We discussed it a couple times on the show last week, how much we really like USC against Oregon. The athletes on USC, Oregon, great run, great coach, great team, but they just wouldn't be able to match up against USC. And I played 10 units on USC money line at -130. And I also played the over last night, both full game and second half overs. So that one as well. So it salvaged my weekend a little bit, but not a great weekend, but a fantastic week for me. Crushed it. So hopefully we can start off this week hot and get another fun, exciting, big week for us.
Yeah, I agree. You want to start with the hockey?
Let me pull up some lines real quick. Just wanted to get all that info here for everybody. All right, perfect. So hockey tonight has a big slate, which I love. I'm really excited about tonight's slate for hockey. And obviously we got the March Madness, which has been a little weird. We talked about this offline, I think, but and maybe on the show, but I cannot believe UCLA and Oregon State are continuing this run. I thought it would all come to an end here last couple of days for both those teams, and they've been proving me wrong. But at the same time, I'm happy. Pac-12 represents, so let's go. Let's do it. Okay, so there are some games here tonight in the NHL that I really like. Let's pull it up here. Okay, got it. So let's just start off with the first game. We got the Islanders against the Penguins. They're going to have Ullmark versus Brian Elliott in this one. Over-unders 5.5. Sorry, wrong game. My apologies.
I actually have 5.5.
No, that's the other game. First game on the board for me, betting rotation. I have Islanders versus the Penguins. It is 5.5, but I was about to talk about the different goalies on the different teams. So you got Tristan Jarry versus Semyon Varlamov. It's going to be a really, really fun game to watch. But in this one, it's kind of a pass game for me. I'm just going to run through all the games real quick. It's kind of a pass game for me. It's one of those flip of a coin games, right? Both goalies very good, both teams very good. On the defensive side, the Islanders very good. On the offensive side, the Penguins are fantastic. So for me, it's going to be a pass on this one. Next game up on the board for me, I have the Flyers versus the Sabres. Flyers -180. I'm not going to lay minus 180 with the Flyers against the Sabres team, especially with the way the goaltending's been for the Flyers. If you wanted to take a stab with the Sabres, I wouldn't hate you. But again, another pass game for me as well. Oilers against the Toronto Maple Leafs, which is just going to be a fantastic game. I love watching both these teams. But this is a spot where I like to back. I'm going to be backing the Oilers tonight at plus 120. For me, it comes down to the goaltending, and Hutchinson, while he does have a good goals against on the season and a good save percentage, slightly better in both respects to Mike Smith on the Oilers. I like the Oilers a lot, and they've really kind of gelled over the last month or so. Not to say Toronto is not a good team. They are. I'd say, one of the favorites here to win the cup. But if I'm getting plus money with the Oilers against Hutchinson, I'm going to go ahead and back the Oilers here at plus 120. It's just, for me, it's just a value play for a team that can score a lot of goals. So I'm going to go with the Oilers tonight at plus 120. Next game on the board, and I don't know if you want to interject with anything. Do you want to interject?
I have a pretty good road dog system here on Edmonton. 33-10 the last 5 seasons, 76% winners. Playing on road dogs up to 150, including the line 150, coming off a road loss. And based on NHL resting, I always think NHL teams are the most incredible athletes, because sometimes they play 4 of these games going 20 miles an hour on skates, banging into each other 4 times a week.
Yep.
But anyway, this road dog must be well rested, playing only their 3 or fewer games in the last 10 days. That's Edmonton, 33-10, 76% winners. $100 better has made almost $3,000 just on this system alone over the last 5 seasons.
Yeah, so I love when you have a system to back up my play here. So I'm happy about that. I do really like the Oilers tonight. Probably be about if breaking it down like you break it down, probably be a 3%er. I'm not going to go wild with it. Probably a 3% play on the Oilers for me tonight. And then, the Ducks Avalanche game, I mean, you can't even bet that game. I mean, the Avalanche are minus 440 I'm seeing right now. It's just a pass game right there. If you wanted, let me see, who's in goal for the Ducks? It looks like Ryan Miller is going to be projected. Yeah, there's nothing in this game for me, not even the over or the under here. All right, so brings us to our game that I have. Oh, no, they changed the goalie. I was going to say it is going to be a play on the Kings for me. I heard this morning that Marc-Andre Fleury was going to be up against Cal Peterson. And you know that I've tweeted out before, anytime you can get Cal Peterson going up against Marc-Andre Fleury, and the Kings will be, a sizable dog to take the Kings and back the Kings. However, it looks like Robin Lehner is going to be in goal for the Knights tonight. It says likely here. Robin Lehner projected Calvin Peterson. For me, that changes the game here. I'm glad I did not take it to the window. With hockey, I generally don't take it to the window until a little later in the day. Unfortunately, it was going to be a Kings play for me at plus 180, but now that Lehner is going to be in goal, he is my favorite goalie in the NHL. It's going to be a pass game here for me. Potentially Knights in regulation. You can bet. I don't know if everyone's familiar who's been following the show and listening to, my hockey segment with John, but you can bet the team to win on both sides of the puck, right? You can bet the dog at, let's say, plus 180, like the Kings tonight, or the Golden Knights at minus 210 to win the game, or you can bet the Knights in regulation. Okay. And that line would be a lot different because it doesn't include overtime, right? So instead of minus 210, you're looking at right now for the Knights to win in regulation, it is minus 130. So I might play the Knights in regulation at minus 130. So that could be a play for me here. And then, excuse me, I'm still not 100% over this COVID cough that I have. And then you got the final 2 games of the evening with the Winnipeg Jets. And me and you, we've made some money with this series.
Winnipeg.
The first night we had a big play on the Winnipeg Jets. And I don't think I was on the show the other night. I think it was Saturday night or Sunday night, I can't remember. And I know I had some people DMing me, and they asked me who I liked in hockey the other night. And it was right after we played the Winnipeg Jets, right? And they won in that weird game. I said I really like the Flames tonight at -120, -125, and the Flames ended up winning that game pretty easily. So it's been a fun series to bet. And for me, it's going to be, again, a play on the Winnipeg Jets. We're going to go back to the Jets tonight. We played the Jets. We played the Flames. Now we're going to go back to the Jets tonight with Hullenbuck in goal against Markstrom. This goalie matchup is something that I like to take advantage of here. I like Hullenbuck a lot. And on the flip side, I'm not a big Markstrom guy. I know he's posted some good numbers this season, and especially with Daryl Sutter as the head coach in Calgary now, he's a very defensive-minded coach, right? It's a system he won with in LA, right? And made Quick a fantastic goalie and an all-star and a Stanley Cup winner. And the Kings defense was fantastic under Sutter. Now they're still getting used to the system in Calgary, right? But I don't think it's quite there yet. And I'm not a big believer in Markstrom. For those reasons, I'm going to go ahead and back the Jets here tonight as well. And the line is Jets -110 here in this game. Any thoughts for you on that game, John?
Yeah, Winnipeg is 21-8, revenging a loss of 2 goals or more in spanning the last 2 seasons. So they lost by, I think they lost by 2 in that
I believe
rematch in Calgary, right?
I believe it was 4-2. Let me check.
Yep.
I'm pulling it up right now. I believe it was 4-2. Yep, 4-2. Yep. So we were on the Jets on Friday, me and you, for a nice big play. They won 3-2 in that weird ending that we talked about. And then the Flames, I gave out the Flames to a couple people that DM'd me. I didn't post it on Twitter or anything. It's been like crazy with the Passover holiday here. But Flames won on Saturday night 4-2. And now you have a couple days rest and they get to play again. And we get the same matchup, I believe, in the goal that we had the Jets on, right, on Friday night. So for me here, it's a play on the Jets -110 for sure. And then the last game of the night, you got the Minnesota Wild going up against the San Jose Sharks. And you're going to have an interesting goaltending matchup here in this one. It's not going to be Martin Jones. It's going to be Devin Dubnick against Cam Talbot. I like, and this is, I believe this is a revenge game, isn't it, for Devin Dubnick? Yes. Yeah. Devin Dubnick played for the Wild. This could be an interesting one. It seems a little steep here. I like the Wild a lot, actually. I was thinking about potentially playing them on a futures to win the Stanley Cup. I think they're about 17 or 18 or somewhere in that range, 17 to 19 to 1. And it was a thought this morning, actually, while I was taking a shower, that I might want to play the Wild on a small little half a unit to win the Stanley Cup there. But I really like this Wild team, as I digress. But this could be a spot where Dubnyk has a good game, right? I've talked about the revenge narrative before in hockey, and I don't think it worked out quite as well last time with Dubnyk against this Wild team. But again, I'm not 100% sure where I'm going with this last game of the slate here, but it could be potentially a Sharks play for me at +140. But I'm -160 is just a little bit much for me with the Wild, but I might lay the -150, especially if I have -160. But if I can get -150, I probably will play the Wild. So I have to see where I'm at a little later in the day. It's still a little early. It's only 3 o'clock on the East Coast here, and this game doesn't go off till 10:30 Eastern time. So check back. I'll probably post something on Twitter so everyone can see. But yeah, this is a game I'm going back and forth on. But basically, just to recap the hockey, I like the Knights in regulation. I like the Winnipeg Jets -110. And I like the Edmonton Oilers at +120. Those are my 3 hockey plays for this evening.
They just jotted the 3 down. Winnipeg, the Knights of Vegas, and Edmonton.
Vegas in regulation, though. I don't want to lay 210. Vegas in regulation -130, it looks like, -125, -130, something in that range.
Yep.
So that's kind of, and then only if Lerner starts, right? Okay, so right now he's likely to start. Now if that goaltending changes to Marc-Andre Fleury, then I'm going to play the Kings.
And you'll be updating it. You can just comment on the tweet for this show, make it easy for everybody to, and then I'll retweet it too. So Lerner has to. That's the pendant. It's like in baseball, if you want your starting pitcher to go, then you gotta box that in there, and that's exactly what this is.
Exactly. Let's not bet it with action, right? It's It's dependent on the other pitching matchup. So basically, yeah. So Knights in regulation if Lerner's in net, the Kings to win if Fleury's in net, and then we have the other two plays were the Winnipeg Jets and the what was the other one? Winnipeg
Edmonton Oilers
and the Oilers. Correct. Right. Yep. There we are. Those are the three plays there.
I'm going to add just a sprinkle here.
Do it.
Maybe 2 pizzas.
Do it.
In terms of the double pizza money. I'm going to be bold here and take the Flyers minus the puck line plus 125. I'm seeing at MGM right now. And I know that may be crazy, but I mean, Buffalo has a little bit of trouble scoring. And even the recent results of the Flyers, that game last Thursday, which was the Rangers, I believe, was horrific. I mean, it really was. I was actually looking in game to take the Flyers.
You talking about when they were down 5-0 or something, or 5-1 that game?
Oh, I think it was like 9-2 at one point, wasn't it? Like,
well, I actually, yeah, I actually had a play. I had a play on the Rangers that night. I had a 2 or a 3 unit play on the Rangers that night. And then I think we came back over the weekend, right, with the under in the Rangers game.
Yep, you did. Yep.
Right. So
that was like very low scoring.
Right. So it's been a fun series to bet. But looking at this game, the puck line is interesting. Minus 1.5 plus 125 ish.
Yep.
Or you can play them in regulation. Flyers in regulation minus 125. So it's up to you. Do you want to play the puck line at plus 120, plus 125, or do you want to play Flyers to win in regulation, which is the same thing essentially, right? They can't go to overtime and cover the puck line. So do you want to play them in regulation minus a half a goal just to win regulation and only lay minus 125?
I'm going to do 1 pizza on the puck line and 1 pizza on regulation.
With the other 3 plays that we're in.
Yeah. But these are smaller. I mean, these are like, when I say pizza money for those that are listening, it's a little bit more than a lean, but it's not a 3%er.
Correct.
And, it's not a 2%er either because, pizza money is pizza money.
Exactly.
And after going 0-2 yesterday, my allocation for pizza money is just a few tenths of a dollar less, I guess, now. But
I'm surprised you went 0-2 after we talked about how much you really like USC.
Yeah, I didn't play the game.
I loved it. I'm kicking myself because I laid down. It was a 10 unit play for me because I was super confident in the play, right? It wasn't like a tilting play or anything or a chasing play. I was just very confident in my numbers and my ability to read the situation. But what I'm upset about for myself, looking back on it, but maybe even a smart way that I laid off of it only because of bankroll management, was when Oregon was up, they were up by 2 or 4. I could have got USC again on the money line at like minus 125, I think, in game. And I didn't do it. And I was kicking myself after they went on that run and went up by 9 or 10. And I was like, oh man, I knew this was going to happen. Why didn't I pull the trigger? But it was more because I think I had just a little bit too much on the game. I didn't want to keep going with it.
Yeah, it was, the run that Dana Altman has had was a large reason why I decided to stay off of it. I couldn't fade him, and the way the tournament has gone, it's been for the most part, a lot of these games have been illogical. Arkansas, beats Oral Roberts by 2. But if you show that box score without the final score to anybody that knows anything about basketball, they'd probably say double digit Arkansas win. There's a site that Kyle Hunter uh, just found out about. It's called the shotquality.com. And initial review is very, very good. So, shout out to them. And they have Oregon State. What they're able to do with the metrics is basically Oregon State has played the last 5 games and won 5 games that they should not have won.
Wow.
And Loyola, based on the box score and what they do with the metrics, sort of won by double digits. So that's the point, and I think with the briefly here on the college basketball slate, you have an Oregon State team here that is with Kyle. I was telling him about how it was analogous to GameStop, but Oregon State obviously has a much better balance sheet than them, but they're stretched, and
my question regarding that game is, am I too late to the party here if I want to play Oregon State?
I would agree. I would totally agree.
That's my biggest problem is that I think I'm just too late to the party here, and I feel like it's a trap situation here, and I feel like if I play it, it's gonna go completely the wrong way. So I just feel like I'm a little too late to the party. I'm gonna lay off. I did slightly like the under when the line first came out, but it changed so rapidly, and I didn't get action down on it. So there's nothing for me here in this game.
Yeah, it might be a quiet night. I mean, there's only 2 games.
I do like Arkansas quite a bit.
Yeah, and that seems almost too good to be true.
Yep.
And Arkansas is going to have to play fast, and they're going to have to make shots. They out rebounded on the offensive glass, Oral Roberts 14-6, and that wasn't necessarily the great defense by Oral Roberts. It was that Arkansas was throwing up some nasty bricks that they have the athletes to go get the ball. And they are one of the best offensive rebounding teams in the country. But if they start missing on that first attempt, and Baylor loves to run, I don't care what the pace of play says. I guess they're in the 208th in pace of play. You can throw that out the window, because when you miss a shot against them, they are off to the races if you give them even an inch. So that makes me a little cautious on that one. But, again, with the Lucas Oil Stadium, it's there's not going to be, enough fans in there to give a good backdrop for the shooters. Rob Vino was mentioning too before the tournament started that, this is going to be an under type of tournament. And, I mean, he was spot on with that.
Totally.
The Sweet 16, there was only one over. And after the first 4 games on Saturday, the under went under the total by a combined 78 points. In the last 10 NCAA tournaments, the record for that metric was 38 points under the total for all 8 games of the Sweet 16. So in 4 games, it doubled the previous high water mark, or low water mark, I guess you would call it, for the unders. And then, Sunday was no different. I had the over in Creighton. And I'm creating this app, Ira, that you already know about, that it calculates points per minute. In the NBA, it's not all that unusual to get levels above 7 points a minute for several minutes, and they were cruising both of them at 7.3. And what the idea is that when you go 3 to 5 minutes at that clip in college basketball, you're going to bet the under, because the in-game total is going to get inflated, because it's extrapolated somewhat. It's not linear. It's definitely non-linear, but it's still going to get extrapolated. And then conversely, when you're under 4 points per minute for an extended 3 to 5 minute period, you want to bet the over.
Absolutely.
So I'm still playing around with that. Maybe we'll go live with it, next season. But I thought that Creighton game was going to challenge the record, which is 193 points, I think, in 2014 with Purdue and somebody else, but that was an overtime game.
Yeah, I actually was kicking myself as well in that game, because I did play the over pre-flop, and I saw the live total at 175 and a half, I think. And I was like, should I middle this right here? It's such a good opportunity to middle this game. And then I was like, no way, man. These guys scored 50 points in the first 10 minutes. I'm not middling this game.
Yeah, 52.
And I was like, no way, man. But I was like struggling. It was like an internal dialogue with myself for like 5 minutes. And then it like dropped and dropped and dropped. And I was like, oh man, now I can't play it. I can't play it at 165 now. And then it just kept dropping and dropping and dropping. And it was just ridiculous. But
I was trying to get in-game live on the show with Rob Vino and Tony Finn at 147, and we were watching MGM. It got to 148, which was the final score. So it wouldn't have been that great a bet actually in game even because it went to 148, then it went all the way back up to 158, and then from there it went steadily. It just it didn't bounce. It just kept going lower and lower and lower, and it still never got to 147 even late in the second half.
yeah, I don't know. Are you a big tennis guy by any chance?
No.
No. They have the Miami Open going on right now. I had a couple winners this morning. I don't understand I couldn't understand a couple lines, so I just played it because I've watched a lot of tennis in my lifetime. And easy winners. Ashley Barty minus 135, the number one ranked player against Victoria Azarenka, who's good, but she's like old. So I played it, and I thought the line was very short. I would have made this line in like the minus 150, minus 160 range. And so I played it. She won. And then Marion Cilic, I had him over over a guy I've never heard of, Lorenzo Musetti. And he had plus money. I had Marion Cilic at plus money. So hopefully we get a little tennis going. We gotta talk about getting a little system going with some tennis, John.
I have the odds in front of me right here. Cilic was plus 125 at Circa, opened at 135, so that was a great call. 6-3, 6-4. He beat Lorenzo Musetti.
Yeah, I've never heard of the guy.
I know tennis a little bit, of course. It's not a sport I don't know at least a couple of names, but Barty went 3 sets, 6-1, 1-6, 6-2. Generally that's the first round too, right?
No, it's
round of 16. Round of 16.
Round of 16. So she played a good opponent in Victoria Azarenka, but I mean, I'm all aboard the Barty party. I mean, give me all the Barty parties you want. I love her. She's awesome. And at minus 135 against Victoria Azarenka, I'm just upset I didn't play it for more units, to be honest with you.
Who does she play next? Sabalenka?
That's going to be a good matchup if it is.
I'm just guessing. But it looks like she will face her. But we can wait and see. Maybe we can tweet this stuff later tonight.
Yeah, no, I just wish I was able to go in person in Miami. So, but yeah, a lot of great matchups to come here in this one. A lot of tennis left today, but nothing that I really love today in tennis. I want to talk about a couple NBA games. See if you had any thoughts.
Okay.
It's been wild, obviously. Been focusing on March Madness and hockey because it's just been more profitable for me over the last month or so. So I've been focusing and drilling down on that. But a lot of trades, obviously, have happened in the NBA. A lot of lineup rotations have changed within the NBA. But there are a couple games here that I want to get your thoughts on. I'm going to first start and throw this one to you. Do you have any thoughts on this Pelicans-Boston Celtics game tonight?
I have leaned to Boston. I can tell you that much. I haven't finished the research on it, but I do have a lean to Boston. Are you on the same side?
Analytics Capper in the chat. What about Albert?
Yeah, I was just saying hi to him.
Tough game. Don't know yet. Probably lean to Boston as well, but I hate turning down the Pelicans at plus money. You know what I mean? So Zion's been out of control, unbelievable. So let's just leave that what it is. And then a couple on the late night slate here that I had some interesting not thoughts on, but kind of a gut feeling, and I'm going to dig deeper here, and we can post them. I'll post them on Twitter later. But we got the Sacramento Kings plus 115 against the Spurs at home, minus 135. I kind of lean Spurs here. Any thoughts for you?
Actually, looking at this for the first time. Usually look at these things earlier than now, but yeah, I would agree with the Spurs side. you want to play on teams in a game lined within 3 points a pick on either side of it. That's facing an opponent that's coming off a 3-point or less win. In other words, a close win as a favorite, and sports a winning percentage between 40% and not higher than 50%. So losing record, not lower than 40% is a better way to say that. That's hit 65% winners over 25 years. And I'd have to break that down to see how it's done in the last 5, because recency does matter on these betting systems. It's a totally different era we're playing in right now, with points being scored at the rate they are. So games back in the early 2000s, the 1990s, are fast becoming irrelevant.
Absolutely. And then there was one other game that I kind of liked as well, and that's the Chicago Bulls -1 over the Golden State Warriors tonight.
Yeah, the Bulls, I think, with their trade deadline moves, I think are an even better team now. I'm more aligned with you and your bullishness on the Bulls going forward. So I like that quite a bit. Just in this single game, I like it.
Yeah, I mean, I love the Bulls before the trade, and they acquired one of my favorite players in the NBA, Nikola Vucevic. Sorry, there was a little fly there. I got him, though. I got him.
Cat-like reflexes.
Yeah, I'm like the goaltender. That's why I'm so
yeah.
Good. But I like the Bulls here. I think Zach LaVine's probable. Steph Curry's questionable. You added Nikola Vucevic's rotation. Now you got Markkanen. You got LaVine. You got Vucevic. You got Kobe White coming off the bench. Satoransky's been pretty good for them. So I like the Bulls here. -1 against this Warriors team. You know me, I haven't liked this Warriors team all year, so it's hard for me not to back the Bulls.
Yeah, the Warriors have lost 4 in a row, both straight up and to the spread, shot over 50% in their last 2 losses. When you lose,
without Steph Curry, though.
True, but they did shoot 50%
without
him.
It's true.
But I'm just checking the injury report here, because it looks like Curry's upgraded to questionable.
Right, he's questionable, and LaVine is probable.
Yep, which means he'll probably go. That's why they call it probable.
Yeah.
But the line went from -4 to -1 on the Bulls the way I'm seeing it right now, which makes me think that there's talk that Curry's going to play.
And I'm okay with that.
At -1, I am too.
I'm okay with that. I mean, I will take -1 or pick with if Curry is playing.
Yep, I agree.
So
that's a good one. I'll write that one down too here.
I don't know. I don't understand it. So, but no one else on the Bulls is on the injury report, are they?
Not that I saw. Just Tice, questionable Monday, personal reasons, but that goes back to yesterday. No, 2 days ago.
Oh, Chicago. It looks like LaVine and Markkanen had a game time decision on Sunday.
Yeah, I'm only showing LaVine right now.
Yeah, I'm only showing LaVine as well. Whatever. I'm probably gonna play the Bulls. I haven't played it yet, but I'll probably throw some picks out there on the Twitter machine a little later. But you know my hockey picks for tonight.
Yep.
You want to recap it real quick for everyone?
Yeah, Winnipeg, the Knights of Vegas with Lerner in goal. If not, then it's the other team.
Win regulation.
And then Edmonton. And then I added Philly with 1 pizza bet on the puck line, 1 pizza bet on the regulation. And then we have the Chicago Bulls. And I believe that's about it.
And you got you said the Winnipeg Jets?
I did, I think. Winnipeg, Vegas Knights, Edmonton, to recap NHL, and then Philly, the way I described it. And then in the NBA, Chicago Bulls, currently -1.
Bulls and a slight lean to the Spurs.
Okay. There we go.
I'm just saying, if everyone wants to know where I'm at in all the sports and all the games, those are my feelings right now. So
Yeah, but make sure you check back.
yeah, check
Um,
check the Twitter machine at Ira Silver Magic. Obviously, I'll post some plays a little later for free,
yep.
and everyone can check it out. Hope to get on Predictive Playbook, and you guys can get in on supporting John and everything he's doing, and hopefully I can continue this nice little hockey run we've been on.
I'm sure you will. You don't stay cold. He gets lukewarm. That's his losing streak. Lukewarm. That's about it from what I've seen now for quite a long time. But I guess we'll end it here, Ira. The next show on tap for Predictive Playbook is Tony Finn of Wager Talk and Rob Vino are going to join me again. I think it's like the fifth consecutive day. So, I guess old guys like us like to commiserate and talk about the old days, and nobody's better at that than Tony. I mean, the guy has a memory like you just can't even believe. We were talking about the '88 NCAA championship Final Four, and I even had trouble naming the Final Four. But some guys have that kind of memory. So, and plus, he's funny as hell.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to watching.
Yeah, thanks, Ira. Appreciate that very much. So, for Ira Silver, myself, and the Predictive Playbook, may all the wins be yours.